Today, we're diving deep into the electrifying, revolutionary world of a musical giant, a man who didn't just play music but wielded it as a weapon for change. We're talking about the one and only Fela Kuti, the undisputed king of Afrobeat. Our story begins in the vibrant, bustling city of Lagos, Nigeria, during the 1960s. A young Fela Anikulapo Kuti, born into a prominent Yoruba family, was initially sent to London to study medicine. But the rhythm in his soul had other plans. Instead of dissecting bodies, he enrolled in the Trinity College of Music, diving headfirst into the world of jazz. He fell in love with the trumpet, inspired by legends like Miles Davis and John Coltrane. In London, he formed his first band, Kalakuta, a group that experimented with a fusion of highlife and jazz. This was the seed, the very first spark of what would eventually erupt into a global musical phenomenon. When Fela returned to Nigeria in the late 60s, he brought this new sound with him. But something was missing. The music was good, but it wasn't yet Nigerian enough. It didn't yet have the pulse of his homeland. The real transformation, the birth of Afrobeat, was just around the corner. The turning point came in 1969, during a tour of the United States. In Los Angeles, Fela met Sandra Isadore, a Black Panther activist who opened his eyes to the Black Power movement, to the writings of Malcolm X, and to the deep-seated political struggles of Black people across the diaspora. This encounter was a political and spiritual awakening. Fela realized his music couldn't just be for dancing, it had to have a message. It had to speak for his people. He returned to Nigeria a changed man, renaming his band from Kalakuta to Nigeria 70, and later, the legendary Africa 70. And it was here that the Afrobeat sound truly took shape. So, what is Afrobeat? Imagine a powerful cocktail of sound. You take the intricate, polyrhythmic drumming of traditional Yoruba music. You stir in the joyous, guitar-driven melodies of Ghanaian highlife. Then, you pour in the improvisational freedom and complex horn arrangements of American jazz, and top it all off with the raw, infectious groove of James Brown's funk. That's Afrobeat. It's a sound that's built on long, hypnotic grooves, sometimes lasting 15, 20, even 30 minutes. It's a sonic journey. And at the heart of this rhythmic engine was a man Fela called the greatest drummer who ever lived, Tony Allen. Allen's revolutionary style, blending jazz techniques with the complex interlocking patterns of Nigerian drumming, created the unique, unstoppable pulse that defined the genre. Together, Fela on keyboards and saxophone leading the massive Africa 70 orchestra with its powerful horn section and chorus of singers, and Tony Allen holding down that incredible groove. They created a sound that was utterly unique and undeniably African. It was music that made you think, made you move, and made you feel the spirit of a continent. But Fela Kuti was more than a musician, he was a movement. As his music became more overtly political, his home became the headquarters of his revolution. In the early 1970s, he declared his commune, a compound in Lagos, an independent nation, the Kalakuta Republic. It was a haven for artists, outcasts, and anyone who felt marginalized by the Nigerian society. Inside its walls, Fela lived by his own rules, practicing a Pan-Africanist ideology and challenging both colonial and local authority. At the heart of the Kalakuta Republic was the Africa Shrine, his nightclub. But this was no ordinary club. The shrine was a church, a political rally, and a musical spectacle all rolled into one. Here, Fela would perform his marathon sets, delivering blistering musical sermons he called yappis. He'd talk for minutes on end, directly addressing the crowd, criticizing the corrupt military government, exposing corporate exploitation, and calling for a unified, empowered Africa. He sang in Pidgin English, the language of the common people, ensuring his message reached everyone, from the market woman to the university student. The shrine became a legendary spot, a place where you could not only hear the world's most exciting music but also participate in a cultural and political awakening. Fela was the Black president, and the Africa Shrine was his seat of power, a place where music and activism fused into one unstoppable force. With a powerful voice comes powerful enemies. Fela's relentless criticism of Nigeria's military regime made him a marked man. His songs weren't just metaphors, they were direct attacks. He named names. He called out specific instances of corruption and brutality. The government saw him as a dangerous dissident, a threat to their authority. The Kalakuta Republic was raided countless times by soldiers. Fela was arrested, beaten, and jailed on numerous occasions, but he always came back stronger, more defiant. The most brutal of these attacks happened in 1977. In a now infamous raid, 1,000 soldiers descended upon the Kalakuta Republic. They burned the compound to the ground, destroyed his studio and master tapes, and brutally assaulted its residents. In a horrifying act of cruelty, they threw Fela's elderly mother, Fela Kuti, a celebrated feminist and anti-colonial activist in her own right, from a second-story window. She would later die from her injuries. It was an attempt to silence him, to break his spirit completely. Anyone else might have given up, but not Fela. He channeled his rage, his pain, and his grief into his music. He arrived at the studio and recorded two of his most powerful and scathing albums, Coffin for Head of State and A Known Soldier. He delivered his mother's coffin to the gates of the main army barracks in Lagos, a defiant act of protest against the head of state, General Obasanjo. This period also gave us the iconic album Zombie. The song is a brilliant, 12-minute-long satirical critique of the Nigerian military. Comparing soldiers to mindless zombies who just follow orders without thinking. Zombie no go unless you tell AM to go. Zombie no go stop unless you tell AM to stop. The song became a massive anthem for the people and infuriated the government, directly leading to that devastating raid on Kalakuta. Yet, despite the immense personal cost, losing his home, his studio, his mother, Fela's resolve never wavered. His suffering only fueled his art and solidified his status as a fearless voice of the people. His music became a testament to the power of resilience in the face of tyranny. Fela Kuti passed away in 1997, but his legacy is immortal. Afrobeat, the genre he created, has exploded across the globe. You can hear its influence in the work of countless artists in hip-hop, jazz, pop, and electronic music. From Vampire Weekend and TV on the radio to the horn lines in a Beyoncé performance, Fela's rhythmic DNA is everywhere. He proved that African music could be complex, political, and commercially successful on a global scale, all without compromising its cultural identity. But his most direct legacy lives on through his children. His eldest son, Fela Kuti, is a Grammy-nominated superstar in his own right. He took the Afrobeat torch, adding his own unique flavors and continuing to use his music to address social and political issues from the stage of the New Africa Shrine, which he built to honor his father. Fela's youngest son, Sun Kuti, now leads his father's old band, Egypt 80. Sun's music is perhaps the most politically fiery, carrying on Fela's revolutionary spirit with uncompromising intensity. Through his music, his activism, and his incredible life story, Fela Kuti taught the world that one man, armed with a saxophone and the truth, can indeed challenge an army. He was a musician, a prophet, a rebel, and a king. His beat goes on. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the life of the incredible Fela Kuti. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more stories about the legends who shaped our world through music. Let us know in the comments which Fela Kuti song is your favorite. Until next time, keep listening.